Alright, what's up everybody? I'm here with my dad, and we're gonna go run some errands with the latest FSD beta 11.4.1 and share our thoughts on how it does. Alright, so we're proceeding through the neighborhood here. We've got to get out of the gate. Now this is a tough gate for it because it has a motion sensor where you have to really get in front of the gate for the gate to open. But the car is a little bit confused by this. It doesn't really understand that. So a lot of times I have to press the accelerator to get it to go where it needs to go for the gate to open. And it starts wanting to go the other way when it sees the gate is closed. So if anyone on the autopilot team is listening, maybe add a little bit of logic here to understand. Okay, so it looks like the gate's open right now. So that's good. Hopefully it doesn't close on us. Sometimes it's open because it just broke or something. So they just leave it open. So that works out great for us. Now it actually worked without any input. Alright, now we've got a left turn. This is an unprotected left. There's a lot of traffic on this street. This can definitely be a challenging intersection. Looks pretty clear right
There's
now.
a car coming.
And
yeah, but it's safe.
there's a car. Oh, that wasn't good.
Yeah.
That was really bad.
Well, it wanted to stop and let the car go, but the car changed the lane. It saw that and then it proceeded. So I think.
Well, it was kind of clear if it had just accelerated instead of stopping.
Yes.
But you know, I think they sort of dial up the cautiousness when it's new, so maybe that's something that will get smoothed out later.
Well, 11.4 is a lot more aggressive on these left turns, unprotected left turns, as compared to 11.3. But then it does seem to make these mistakes where it miscalculates, especially if the car is coming on the other side at a high speed. I saw that yesterday too.
Alright, now we got a left turn coming up on Crenshaw.
Yesterday, my car just stopped.
Yeah, mine did that too.
In this lane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just stopped there and it wouldn't go.
Exactly, same here. But in the second.
Yeah, when it gets in that lane, it gets stuck for some weird reason.
Yeah. It could not figure out the intersection.
Which is fine, which is weird because it normally navigates it just fine.
Correct. Notice that it's letting everybody go, even though it says start. Yeah. Like, guys behind me are pissed.
Well, there's no one behind us.
Luckily, this time nobody's behind us, yeah. Okay.
Alright, now we got another left turn coming up.
I like the fact that speed's down to 42, 43, even 39 in this case.
Yeah, for the curve.
Sharp right. Yeah.
Yeah, I like now how you can set a higher max speed, but it'll lower it when it's appropriate automatically. So you don't have to worry about what you set the max speed to. Alright, now we got a left turn here. This is definitely one where it's kind of a bit challenging for the car to see where it needs to go.
Yeah.
But it seems to have gotten the layout. It knows there's another lane there. You can see the yellow line. So let's see. Here we go.
It's just following the other car.
Well, I think you can do it by itself too. All right, it wanted to get in the right lane because it knows it has a right turn coming up ahead. That's good. One of the big complaints people have had is that it doesn't know how to get in the right lane at the right time and it misses turns. Okay, looks like there's some parked cars on the side here, a parked truck. You can see the system start to slow just slightly so that it can take a look at what's going on. And then here it offset it around the truck very elegantly. And it's slowing down because it saw that parked car. It was trying to see if they might jump out, but they didn't, so it continued. Oh, and now it's stopping way too far away because it sees a pedestrian in the crosswalk. That was like miles and miles away. So, again, could just be a case of them dialing up the cautiousness for a new update, but cautious is good when an update's new. Alright, now we got a lot of traffic coming here. We got to make a right turn. And it's really going for it. Nice. I like that.
Yeah, yesterday it did the same thing.
Whoa.
With me. Yeah. Slow down, cowboy.
Alright, and now it's going to turn into the parking lot. And beautiful. Now let's take a look at the speed here. The speed is lowered down to 29 now, which is still too fast for the parking lot, but now the vision speed network should kick in and realize we're in a parking lot. See? Limiting max speed for road type. And now the speed is limited to 19. So that's a big improvement in 11.4.1.
Correct.
That it actually says, hey, we're in a parking lot. Maybe I shouldn't go 40. You know, that's a great innovation they've added now after 3 years. So that's going to be very well received. And okay, so now we're here at Rite Aid. That's our first stop. And we got here with no human input.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Okay, should be about 12 minutes.
Are we recording?
Hmm?
So the car now can navigate in parking lots, and it figures out the all the idiosyncrasies of parking lot driving, where people don't really necessarily follow rules,
Mm-hmm.
and there are stop signs.
Why is
Okay,
it stopping?
so it's confused, but then it realized that it was unnecessarily confused. Okay, now it's going to wait for everybody to clear just to be sure. Okay, good. Now it sees the road. It's following the car. It looks like that car gave it some encouragement to go.
A little bit of jerkiness, but good.
Yeah. 11.4.
It's just,
very
at the beginning it's always more cautious again, so you see more of these stops and things, and then later on it becomes pretty confident. Alright, now we got a right turn here. There is a lot of traffic coming in on this street, so gotta be careful of that.
Yeah.
Alright, looks like we have a... Oh, no, there's more cars coming.
It seems to be like giving these little nudges
Mm-hmm.
to peek into the traffic, get a better view,
Mm-hmm.
figure out whether it's clear to go.
Right.
And now, after this car, it might be good to go. Let's see.
Oh, no, there's a car coming.
Yeah,
Oh, but they're turning right. Oh, that was smart how it saw that car with the right blinker on and then it went for it.
yeah,
That was actually really impressive.
yeah. Not sure if it judged the fact the car was still too far and it can go, whether it actually saw the blinker. I think if it saw the
I think
blinker,
it either it probably saw the blinker and it saw the car slowing down, and it put two and two together. This is the perfect cover for me to jump out because you've got that guy. So that's good that it's taking those opportunities. In older versions, it could really get stuck for a long time in a situation like that, just waiting and waiting, where a human would have found an opportunity a long time ago. So that's, one of the main things. It's really a complex trade-off between safety, comfort, and speed. You have to be safe, but you have to also be comfortable, and you have to get the user there quick enough that they don't just turn it off because you're wasting their time. So it's really hard to get all three. Now we've got this truck speed limit here. That always gives the system issues.
Yeah, definitely. Not all
It's-
of them, but some signs.
Since the first FSD beta, this truck speed limit has been, you know, the bane of my existence.
I believe it was like 10.0 when it was properly detecting the truck versus non-truck speed signs. I think it started from 10.3.
But I think now that it has this vision speed network, we saw how when it got in the parking lot, it said, okay, I'm in a parking lot, so let me lower my speed. Similarly, it should be able to say, hey, I'm not in a parking
you
lot. Okay, yeah, see? Now it lowered the speed down to 25, but then now there's another speed limit, so then it increased the speed again.
Yeah. And the lanes merged. Significant slowdown on curves now.
So I sent that up to them as a clip. So yeah, I think applying the
There's
vision
a guy
speed.
walking on the street. Previously, it used to freak out. Then I would see a person walking on the street. Now it doesn't give
Yeah.
a shit.
Well, yeah, now it's handling it
Yeah, now
more
it's handling it. Now
naturally.
it seems to see where the guy is going. If
Mhm.
he's not walking in like perpendicular to our travel direction,
Right.
it says, "Oh, that's fine." Then keep walking. I also like how it places itself now in a wider lane like this. Previously, it used to be dead center, and that would also look like really weird. But when it sees a big car or SUV or a
Yeah.
truck, it goes a little bit away from it, which is to make the driver and the passengers feel more comfortable, which is very smart.
Right.
And now again, notice it's not
Oh.
dead center.
It actually lowered the speed, but then it fixed itself before I could fix it. So that was interesting.
Maybe they finally figured out.
I don't know. I don't think I had it occur a few times, but it's like they should be able to figure out by the speed of traffic that this isn't a 25 limit that applies to us if they can't read the truck. So really, they need to have multiple layers. They need to actually read the speed limit correctly and read the fact that it says truck there. But in case their system misses that truck portion, they need to also use common sense and say, okay, it says 25, but just looking around, this looks like a big road. Everybody else is going 50. Maybe it doesn't make sense to slow down to 25. Okay, let's see. Here's another one, 45, 25. Let's see what happens.
It'll take 45. On that, it ignores that. So when
Yeah.
the truck sign is after the other sign, then it works perfectly fine. When the truck sign is before the regular car sign, that's when it seems to get confusion. So it looks like Tesla engineers might have programmed it. There are two signs. The first one,
I think they just don't care because it's such a, probably only applies to a few places.
No, actually, I've seen that 9 out of 10 cases, yes, the regular sign comes first, but sometimes the truck sign does come first, which is where it gets really confused. So, in mostly in our area, that's I've seen. So, I guess it's a matter of training it to say, either sign could come first, but look for the word truck. If it says truck next to the sign, then ignore that. Unless you're a Cybertruck.
Well, that's not the kind of truck they're talking about,
No,
obviously.
I'm just kidding.
They're talking about like the semi,
Yeah.
which is also getting autopilot now. Okay, that's good. I like when it goes through the yellow when it can rather than stopping abruptly.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be natural. You have to do just what the person would have done.
Correct.
So it just feels second nature, and they're definitely getting there. Where it's not just, oh wow, it actually got there without crashing. That used to be the level of what would impress me before. Like, wow, it didn't even try and crash into anything. This is great. Now it's like it can actually get you there comfortably.
Yes.
Like
11.4
Mhm.
is very smooth.
Mhm.
It's, Elon was right. It deserved to be a 12.
Yeah.
Because it's such a huge improvement from 11.3.6
Mhm.
to 11.4.1. I was like, wow.
Yeah, and it's still got some of that new version bugginess, so when we get back from our trip, I bet it's going to be just incredible.
Yeah. Well, for me, I think all the bugginess that was in 11.3.6 went away.
Mm-hmm.
So I just observed that one issue yesterday at the stop sign when it was in the second lane.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I haven't.
But yeah, you just had to press the accelerator,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was fine. So yeah, I mean, this, I gotta give kudos to the team. They've done incredible work getting this to work, where now you and I both have a car where we can drive it if we want, but we can also just say, hey, take me here, and it'll actually just do that. And even with traffic, even with rain, like, it's amazing the range of conditions it works in.
Yeah, what's interesting, Omar, your mom we were driving back from a party or to a party the other day, and and when I'm driving, I don't necessarily stay dead center in the lane. Sometimes I veer right or left.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, why don't you put it on the FSD?
Oh wow, she said that.
Yeah, you keep going right or left. So she trusts FSD more than me now, because she knows when the FSD is on, the car is driving dead center, and it doesn't make, she doesn't have to worry about it. Brakes, it drives conservatively, which is what she prefers. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah, that's funny because, in the early days of FSD, people used to say, oh, I love FSD, but my wife won't let me use it because
Correct.
it's braking hard and that kind of thing. So,
Which it was.
yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then people...
Oh, wow, look at that. It almost did a lane change there.
Yeah, I think it maybe wanted to, but then...
No blinker, though.
No, I think actually it was just trying to reposition itself in the lane, but went a little bit too left.
Yeah.
Because the lanes were a little bit discontinuous.
Correct,
They didn't
correct.
line up exactly.
Yeah. That exact issue I noticed too yesterday, and at the same exact spot. I think there or this traffic sign, one of the two, I did when there's a big intersection. It seems to have some issue now in staying straight. It goes too much to the left, thinking like as if it's a lane change, but then it corrects. So here it did very well.
Mm.
So yesterday, I think
I haven't really noticed that too much. I mean, it occasionally does that from time to time, but I haven't noticed any difference in this version. But, anyway, I was saying, people were really talking about, okay, when's it going to pass the wife test? And I do think in time people will actually prefer it, because it can be so much smoother and comfortable than a human ever can. Like,
Correct.
I could never drive like this. And, you remember how when I used to drive and how you and Mom would shout at me like, calm down, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Slow down, that kind of thing. And, now when we're driving together, I just put on FSD and it's, no complaints,
Yes.
right? You can just enjoy the drive without shouting at each other.
Also, people used to say, oh, when will it pass wife test? I did a really nice experiment one time. I would usually tell your mom, say, hey, we're gonna, rent the FSD drive. And FSD was a little bit of jerky, and she would kind of freak out, say, oh my God, be careful, this and that, because she knew the car was driving by itself. So then one day I said, I'm gonna drive myself today, and I just drove and, quietly turned FSD on and drove for like 15-20 minutes. And then when I got home, I said, did you like the driving? She said, oh yeah, way better. FSD freaks me out, or I get nervous. I said, well, for your information, we were on FSD. She's like, really? Oh, it felt like a human driving. So a lot of it is when you tell people the car is driving by itself, they get that extra sensors up and they start analyzing overly as compared to when they know humans driving. So
yeah, most people actually don't notice at all. It's interesting. If you don't tell them and they don't look, They
Yeah.
won't even notice that
Look
it's
at
not
this
a
lane
human.
change, how it's trying to now
Yeah.
negotiate with this car. But I like the fact now it doesn't necessarily look for a large gap. It
Oh, the
just,
way it can jump in between traffic now is like amazing.
yeah,
That's like what I've been waiting for forever, you know?
yeah. Now it's going to be tricky here.
Yeah.
There's a car behind me.
Is it gonna make it? Or...
Yeah, it's going to make it for sure. Perfect.
Alright.
Yo!
Oh! Oh my
How
god.
cool is that?
That was a wild
Okay.
lane change, but it did make it.
All right, we're at our next stop. Yeah, that was some stunt.
I like that. It's better than missing the turn. Alright, so now we're done with our errands. We're headed to my grandma's house, my dad's mom. Gonna go see her.
Is it that GLA 250 Mercedes? Is crossover. It looks nice.
I'm not really a fan. Alright, we got the left turn arrow. Let's go, people.
It's amazing it can see it. Like, I couldn't see it.
Yeah, sometimes I notice it, the light turn green on the display before I can actually see it.
Yeah.
A lot of times you can't actually have good visibility on the light, but the sensor suite can see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Right into the second lane from the left. So that is pretty good. Now it does this with me too. It wants to change the lane way ahead of time, even though we're 2.1 miles.
Yeah.
You know, should have stayed in the second lane. In my case, it actually wants to go to the extreme right lane way ahead of the time, which I'm not comfortable driving in the extreme right lane because sometimes people pull out of the parking lots and all of that, right? So I'm comfortable in lane number 2 or 3 in this situation on Hawthorne. So that's something that I would want to see improved, where it doesn't have to go to extreme right lane unless it's getting very close to make it the right turn.
Yeah, it seems to be doing better at that on this version.
Yeah,
It doesn't try and go in that lane.
that's true. That's true. I haven't tried that much on 11.4, but 11.3 it used to go in the extreme right lane right here.
This time it didn't try to.
No.
It does seem to be better at some of those lane selections. They upgraded that in this version.
For sure.
But there's also a little bit of bugginess, but mostly it's pretty good.
I love the confidence that the driving has now. So it's not like, you know, always maintaining a gap. It can sometimes even come closer to the other car.
I like how now when it's stopped in traffic, it gets close.
Yes.
Rather than being a mile away.
Exactly.
So many little things that just make it more natural.
Yeah. And then the acceleration, did you see the car change the lane? It accelerated really smoothly.
Yeah, really smoothly.
Previously it used to be so fast that it would get like, whoa, you know.
Or too slow.
Or too slow sometimes, yeah. And look at the lane positioning, that's improved quite a bit.
Yeah.
And a wider lane like this.
It's a very smooth ride.
There is a issue with, see, it's staying in the extreme right lane now, and there's going to be an issue. There might be, once we cross PCH, there are cars parked in that extreme right lane. So, oh, look at that, it changed the lane. I wonder what made it think to change the lane. Did it give you a reason? Did it say anything?
It said to follow route. I think that, you know, they've started using some of this fleet data where they upload stuff to the server and then they remember it. So it's possible it could have gotten a hint like, hey, there tend to be parked cars there and people have tended to have to move out. So just remember that from next time and then you can make the lane change much earlier.
Yeah. because it happened with you when you drove from San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah. I remember you let the car wait and then change the lane. Okay, now it has to go to the right lane, but there's a parked car, so let's see how it deals with that. So it's not changing the lane. Maybe it saw the parked car. Oh, no, it's making... Oh, look at
it
that.
aborted.
It aborted.
And 2 Teslas too.
Yeah. Cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's going to
it can
get over.
change the lane. Yeah. It accelerates a little bit before the lane change, although I don't think it was necessary to accelerate. I think acceleration would have been necessary if there were cars in the right lane, but obviously you can't see too far, so maybe it's just doing it as a safety. Okay, very nice, smooth turn. So this road is 25. I didn't even know this road was 25. It's pretty curvy road.
Some glare from the sun.
A lot of glare from the sun, but it doesn't seem to bother it.
Yeah, it's still able to keep the distance accurately, which is kind of amazing that, you know, something so critical as measuring the distance, it works in so many conditions, rain, sun, even pretty thick fog. Although last night, you know, some of the fog on what do you call it? Crest can get so like
dense.
Zero visibility.
Yeah, it was pretty dense.
It asked me to take over as I was getting really close last night. Yeah, but it worked in the really thick fog for a while, but then at some point it just had enough.
Yeah.
But I think what they need to do is just slow down, and that's it. You know, then they can handle it as long as they're going slow
just
enough.
like we do as humans. It has to literally duplicate human behavior at certain points. How would Omar handle it? Right? That kind of thinking.
All right, now we got a left turn coming up. This is often kind of challenging because you don't have visibility into the cars that are coming from the other direction, and then you have to turn left. So there was a car coming there, but it did that well. And it did it very cautiously and safely.
And this is a really narrow lane, and it navigates through this really well. Although no stop sign, notice how it actually did stop.
Limiting max speed for road type again.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't stop to 0. Yeah. It just paused to look for traffic.
Yeah, but there was no stop sign.
But I also like how it lowered the speed down to 25.
Oh, it did? Okay.
It didn't even apply the 20, it didn't apply the offset to go over. It just said, okay, we're going to keep it at 25. So that's a really cool thing, how it now recognizes the road type and does
look at that.
It actually noticed that car coming before I did.
I did, yeah.
I was like, what's it doing? Then it's like, oh
exactly.
shit, there's actually a car there.
Look at this car.
He's like, what's this guy doing? He's like, gonna hit me. That was a little weird behavior, but...
The guy was actually communicating through signs. Park behind this car, Omar. Park behind.
Well, hold on, just let it finish, then I'll park.
There you go.
I'll actually park here so we can get out easier.
Okay, yeah. Park here.
Park on this side.
You can park in their driveway.
I'll just park here.
Okay, good.
Alright, now we're all done with all our errands. Let's get out of here.
We're heading home now.
Alright, so navigating well despite some sun blocking us.
Construction.
Well, yeah, we got a. I think it was because of that trash dumpster.
Yeah.
But that was kind of unnecessary.
Well, I was just basically warning you, saying, keep an eye, am I doing the right thing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Maybe they could have a couple of tiers of sound, so they could have the alarm and then maybe a little hey. Just letting you know.
Softer, yeah.
It is kind of an alarming. Is that the...
Look at the doors open on the car.
Oh, and someone's getting out.
Wow. Normally, previously, it would slow down on this situation, but this time I didn't give a shit. Like, oh, she's in her own lane. I'm fine. I don't need to worry.
Well, I think it handled
Here's
it
a
fine.
dumpster too. Let's see how it navigates around it very well.
Okay, cautiously.
Oh, quite a bit. Gap. Yeah, just wants to play safe. That's fine. Because there was nobody in the other lane.
Yeah. There might have been some uncertainty about where the dumpster is.
This is pretty sharp curves here. Let's see if it slows down. 28, 27, 26, 25, yeah, quite a bit. 22, 21, 20. So it came down from 29 to 18. Very nice. This is a big improvement. I used to feel very uncomfortable because I wouldn't do that. I had to manually lower the speed.
Exactly.
Now I hardly do that because it
does it
exactly
automatically.
just like I would do it.
It can actually look at the curve and just figure out what's the appropriate speed.
Exactly. And that's where the smoothness comes in. Okay.
All right, so
Now
we got another car it's waiting for, but they were stopped, so it went.
Our turn.
All right, right turn coming up ahead.
Sharp right turn and the sharp left, followed by sharp left. Let's see, the speed is 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Okay, good. Very nice. That's a huge improvement. Although, it doesn't seem to be big, but adjusting the speed to the conditions of the road is what it makes it human-like.
Yeah.
And the comfort level it gives the passenger, the driver who is monitoring it, is huge. I am a lot more comfortable now, even though it didn't make any mistake. It was just that I had to tell it to slow down. Now I don't have to tell it to slow down.
It just makes you so much less anxious and nervous while you're using it. All right, now we got a left turn up ahead in half a mile.
Yeah. Do a lane change.
It used to be on legacy autopilot. I couldn't even drive in a wide lane like this because it would just be ping-ponging all over the place.
Yeah.
Now you actually don't. I would have to change the lanes and say, okay, drive in this lane to get it to go up the hill.
So true.
Now it doesn't matter what lane it's driving in. It can
and then even if it's a wide lane, notice how it stayed, a couple of feet away from the middle white lane, lane markings. So it adjusted. One thing it does here for me, I don't know if it does for you too, when it goes to the left lane, comes in very fast and brakes abruptly. Let's see how it does for you. See right here? It doesn't look like it's going to slow down.
Yeah. I think it has trouble. Maybe
yours is better. Yours is better. Mine comes in much faster.
I think it's because of the hill, it might have a little trouble seeing the line. So it might estimate the line being a little further out than it actually is. And then it has to stop more abruptly.
Yesterday when it made a right turn on Crenshaw, it made the right turn into the second lane, not the extreme right lane, because extreme right lane is right turn only. So it did that correctly. So I was very happy to see that it, as it made the turn, it made a decision that I'm not going to go into the extreme right lane because that extreme right lane is right turn only. So it made turn into the second lane from right. So let's see if yours does that. All right, there you go. Your speed is still set at 52.
Well, it's 40 now.
Okay. How did it? I didn't see any sign. Did you see any sign? How does it know?
Maps?
So it pulls that data from the maps?
Maybe. Or maybe there was a sign.
No, there was no sign.
There might have been a sign.
No, their sign is right here. Now. But it made that adjustment as soon as it made a left turn. So somehow it knows the speed limit of the roads.
Yeah, from the map.
And then the sign overrides it probably. Okay, this is gonna be interesting one because mine did a good job yesterday. Let's see if yours does it too.
Yeah, it always has the problem with this right turn lane. It doesn't realize.
Oh, look at that! It did yours did it right too. Yeah, that's what it did with me too. So this is a huge improvement. A huge improvement. So they fixed this. It figures it out. If the right, extreme right is right only, immediately ends. It doesn't bother even going into that lane.
Alright, here we go. Up the hill.
Yeah. Some sharp turns, but it's not slowing down because the lane's wide enough. And it's confident it can navigate at that speed. But it's going to come into a sharper curvature, smaller radius, and it does usually slow down a bit for that turn right there coming up. You'll see that. Oh, it is actually ping-ponging on this lane.
A little bit.
I don't know why it does that. You think that marking on the road is confusing it, thinking like this is separate?
No, I think it's just trying to, I don't know.
Okay, it's down to 49. No, it hasn't cared to slow down at all. So here it gets a little confused sometimes for me. Okay, did a better job for you. Nice. A lot of confidence in that driving. Sun glare at its worst. Decided to change the lane. Interesting.
Away from traffic, that's
yeah,
good.
but be careful with the glare.
I know.
You might not see things properly.
No, I think it'll be okay. Unless it's driving like really directly into the sunlight, it's not an issue.
Yeah.
Because it has multiple cameras, so even if the front gets blinded, it can use other cameras to see where the lanes are and make a prediction about what's ahead.
Very nice. It is a good job stopping right at the line. Traffic lights if it's the first car. So here it does two right lane changes, one after the other. Always. It doesn't, like, it knows it has to make a right turn in a 0.1 miles. It should already go to the second lane at least.
I think it likes to wait until it's straight.
Yeah. Probably, yeah. Now it's gonna make two lane changes as you saw that. It's perfect. I remember the early releases of FSD, or actually autopilot. It was sometimes on the curves it would just go over the line and almost hit the curb.
Yeah, I know, seriously. They've really put a lot of work into this. You gotta give props to the team. They've done what everyone said was impossible. They said, we're gonna make the car drive itself with the 1.2 megapixel cameras around the car. People are like, are you nuts? That's impossible. You need distance, you need lasers. They're like, nah, you know what, we don't think so. We can do it.
LiDAR.
So that was interesting. It tried to go around the car.
Yeah.
But then it gave up. It said, okay, well, we're getting close
to our destination. So we had to make a right turn into the gate now.
So that's good. A lot of times, it would try and go around someone and then just miss the turn, because it couldn't get around in time. It lacked that kind of common sense of knowing, okay, I don't seem to be passing this person.
Okay, let's see how much it slows down, because it needs to slow down significantly on this turn here. Whoa, that came pretty fast. And Does it get confused here which side to go? No.
Finally. Oh. That was a big issue before where it would go on that side. Even though that's technically where you're supposed
So
to
it
go.
does see the gate properly.
You can see it's rendering the occupancy network there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's showing it as filled, and now that it's open... Oh, that's not good. It's still showing it as closed. That's weird. Let me just give it a little push. Oh. Ah, shoot. What the hell?
Okay, go ahead.
That's weird.
It did not see the gate as open for some reason.
Yeah, I've noticed it has that issue. They finally got the roundabout issue fixed, but now it's not reading the gate properly.
It could be light.
And it's literally been working for years, so it's just, bug, I guess.
Okay, there's a car reversing into the driveway.
Another Tesla.
Yeah. So this is
It looks like that guy got an EQS
15 miles.
charging in the driveway.
Yeah. Amazing.
It's a lot of EVs around here now. And there we go. He drove us pretty much all around.
Yeah.
For all our errands. We didn't really have to do anything.
Full self-driving it is. All right. Thank you, Omar.